been using the Pixel 9 Pro XL as my primary phone for a week now, and it's been a nice love and hate relationship with it. Mostly love, less hate too, which is a good thing. Now allow me to explain what I mean by that in my detailed review of the phone, and stay tuned till the end because I have thrown in a camera comparison with the iPhone 15 Pro Max, a quick one for good measure. Alright, let's get down to our detailed review of the Pixel 9 Pro XL. If you're here for the first time, I'm Harshad, you're watching Trakin English, your destination for detailed, incisive gadget reviews. Now let's start with the design. I love it. So this soft pink color is actually called Peony and I really like it. It looks very cute, but I prefer the hazel one even more. Now the decision to go with flat sides and rounded edges, yes, I see it. It does look a lot like the iPhone 15 Pro Max. Not so much from the rear, but a lot from the front. Although unlike the iPhone, the Pixel doesn't have a titanium frame, it has the polished aluminum one. Now with the polished aluminum frame, I was expecting it to pick up a lot of smudges and fingerprints like the iPhone does, but somehow Google has managed to keep it at bay. You know, that anti-fingerprint coating on this phone is definitely doing its job. But the most gorgeous element of this entire design has to be this redesigned camera deco. Up until the Pixel 8 Pro, we got the Robocop visor look, which I was genuinely not a fan of. This new direction is actually pretty good. And I like how Google has managed to keep the distinctive Pixel look alive without having to change too much. Also, if you notice carefully, the Google logo on the rear is much larger now. By the way, this camera module definitely does protrude a lot from the rear, but since it's like a flat entire strip, when you place it on a table, there's literally no table wobble. Now compared to the Pixel 7 Pro, of course, this is a heavier phone. It's almost as heavy as the iPhone 15 Pro Max, but I like the weight. It feels dense, it feels more premium, and especially when you slap that, really nice soft touch case onto it, the whole feel is absolutely fantastic. Now that's the design and in-hand feel of the phone, but you also get flagship features that you come to expect from Android phones. For example, the front and the back are protected by Corning Gorilla Glass Victus 2, you get IP68 rating, and you get a USB Type-C port at the bottom, which has USB Gen 3.2 speeds. So yeah, this is the most premium Pixel has ever felt. I'd go so far as to say that it feels more premium than the iPhone 15 Pro Max. Sorry, iPhone lovers. Alright, before I move on to the next bit of this review, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Also, thank you so much for helping us reach 600k. Now, there's still a long way to go to that 1 million number. Help us out. Your support is definitely appreciated. The display of the Pixel 9 Pro XL is also pure love. This 6.8-inch display uses Google's Super Actua technology. And there's no confusion about it. In India also, you get the Super Actua display. So this is an AMOLED panel with 120Hz of refresh rate and LTPO technology as well. And while the bezels might not be the slimmest out there, I love the symmetry that's going around. This display can now hit a peak brightness of 3000 nits, and when you're watching HDR content, it can go up to 2100 nits. In fact, when we took this phone and the iPhone 15 Pro Max outside, the Pixel 9 Pro XL actually gets brighter. Plus, the HDR tuning is incredible whether you're watching YouTube, Netflix, Prime, whatever it is, and the colors have also been accurately tuned, just that you'll have to switch to the natural color mode. And I must say this, in my testing, I noticed that the LTPO tuning or the adaptive refresh rate tuning on this display is the best I've seen on any phone yet. It dynamically keeps switching between the lowest refresh rates depending on whatever content is playing. So I consistently saw 1 Hz, 4 Hz, 17 Hz, some weird numbers which I've never seen on any other display before. By default, the resolution of the screen is set to high, but if you set it to maximum, obviously it'll suck more battery. The other thing is, if you actually use a screen protector on top of the display, you can increase the touch sensitivity for it to work properly with it. Google has of course also upgraded the in-display fingerprint scanner. It's an ultrasonic one now. It's excellent, no doubt about it. The haptic feedback on Google phones are generally very good, but on the Pixel 9 Pro XL, it just feels way better. Just the way it's tuned across the system. For example, when you're in the multitasking carousel and you swipe across the apps, you can feel that soft, very caressing vibrations. All that said, I do have a couple of tiny little issues with the display. Firstly, the punch hole is slightly large and it's not aligned at the center with the status bar, so it's a little off center and it triggers my OCD. But the second problem is a bigger one because the PWM dimming is a god-awful 240 Hz. So if your eyes are sensitive to low light flicker on high refresh rate displays, this is going to be a huge problem. Google, Apple and Samsung definitely need to fix this ASAP. Rounding off the multimedia experience, the stereo speakers continue to be excellent. They get loud, they get rich. Take a listen to it right next to the iPhone 15 Pro Max and let me know which one you guys prefer. Also, I tried out a Type-C DAC, it worked fine. And with respect to Bluetooth high-res codecs, you do get support for LDAC, but NHDC is not supported. I don't hate the Pixel 9 Pro XL's performance, but it is definitely underwhelming. So the new Tensor G4 based on Samsung's 4nm fabrication process is still an underperformer. And couple that with the slow UFS 3.1 storage speeds, you have the recipe for meh performance overall. Thankfully though, you do get 16GB of LPDDR5X RAM type for all of the AI requirements of this phone. See, in general usage, the phone has been very good. It flies, it's got extremely smooth animations, and the RAM management is of course great. But my concern is for more powerful workloads. For example, benchmarks. In Antutu, the score that we got was lower than that of the Poco F6, the Realme GT60, and the OnePlus Nord 4. We also ran a CPU throttle test where we ran 40 threads for 30 minutes, and it was not the best score that we got. We got a CPU stability score of 62%. On the flip side, in our 3D Mark Wildlife test, we got a GPU stability score that was actually better than many other Android flagships we've tested, like the OnePlus 12, the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra, and the Vivo X100 Pro. By the way, the storage speeds, considering its UFS 3.1, is much lower. It's actually half the speed of what you get with UFS 4.0 storage. Alright, now let's talk about gaming. Even if Google doesn't want to, we did try it out, and BGMI cannot run at 90 FPS, which should have been possible. Call of Duty, although, does run at 120 FPS. And the game that I genuinely like to play is Genshin Impact, and there were definitely a lot of frame drops. Unfortunately, the tool that we used wasn't working on this phone, but Google has its own FPS monitor, and when I was playing the game, I could see that the FPS would drop to 45, 50, 52 types. It was never a stable 60, of course, which is possible. Almost stable 60 is possible on the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 and the A17 Pro. But the good thing is that the Pixel 9 Pro XL actually does come with a vapor cooling chamber inside, so it doesn't get hot. In fact, fun fact, when I was actually shooting with these two phones outdoors, the iPhone 15 Pro Max got hotter than the Pixel 9 Pro XL. Now, battery life on the Pixel 9 Pro XL has definitely improved, but it's the network performance that is love. So this phone has a large 5060 mAh battery, and I am consistently getting anywhere between 6 to 7 hours of screen on time. Now here's the thing, Google's battery usage stats suck. So it would show me a certain screen usage time at one time, and a little later I'll check it, and a certain part of that usage is completely vanished. Anyway, I had to use Franco Kernel Manager, and with that I could see that, I wasn't having any battery anxiety when I was using the phone, which is something that I used to have with most Pixel phones in the past, not with the Pixel 9 Pro XL. This phone definitely has great battery life, if not the best, and I'm 100% sure that is going to come as a relief for a lot of people. Now, charging speeds, of course, the wired charging speeds have been improved to 37 watts, and ideally it should charge faster, but for me it's still charging very slow. So in my test, I used the StuffCool USB 65 watt PD charger. Maybe it's not compatible with this. I used a couple of the StuffCool chargers, one in white and one in black, for democracy's sake, and yet this thing took about 1 hour 40 minutes for a full charge, 1 hour 45 minutes for a full charge. Maybe I'm doing something wrong, maybe the phone is doing something wrong, I don't know. Anyway, talking about that network performance, I am so happy with it. I used Airtel, working absolutely fine with no call drops, exceptional connectivity, and superb mobile data. Same was true for Jio, and same was true for an eSIM that I used across, US, Doha, and India. I was wondering what sorcery has Google done with it, and the answer for that is very simple. They've used a new modem, and it's the Exynos 5400 if I'm not entirely mistaken. Now that's an improved modem with better performance, so it's good. You also do get NFC and Bluetooth 5.3, but in India, Google has shafted us. You do not get Wi-Fi 7, you only get Wi-Fi 6 support. Now the Pixel 9 Pro XL is the best Android phone. Yeah, you'd say that. And I definitely love the software experience. Now you get Android 14 out of the box, and Google promises 7 years of software updates. So Android 15 will come this year, and you should also expect Android 22 maybe 7 years later, or whatever version of Android is running then. But the Pixel 9 Pro XL is all about the AI this year, and it is the best AI phone that I've used. You get both fun and useful use cases. Let me start with the fun ones. So Add Me is a camera specific feature which lets you add a photographer friend in a group shot, and it has a very intuitive UI as well, which lets you do it. And for the most part, it worked exceptionally well. Photo Studio lets you generate images with prompts like most, AI tools do. Magic Editor is also a very cool tool which lets you crop and align photos, which is nice. But with this Magic Editor, you can also use generative prompts to change a certain part of an image. For example, if there's a car in the background, you can change that to be a dinosaur. Yeah. The weather app's new design and the AI related summaries make me want to use it often and often. But the most useful tool by far for me has been Google's Gemini integration. Of course, Google Gemini is available on other Android phones as well, but on the Pixel 9 Pro XL, I was actually using it a whole lot more. Also because Google gives you like a 1-year subscription for Google Gemini Advanced free with it, but still, I genuinely felt it to be useful. For example, with Gemini, now you have Gemini extensions, which means that, Gemini can actually connect to your workspaces, for example, your docs, your sheets, your Gmail. And I use all of these services a lot. So for this review's research, I did this. Hey, what did I think about the Google Pixel 8 Pro in my review? Can you take a look at my Google Docs for it?
You had mixed feelings about the Google Pixel 8 Pro. Here's a summary of what you liked and disliked. Liked, great camera, especially the wide-angle photos, and the 5x dots periscope. Best-in-class Tensor G3 chip for AI features like Magic Eraser and Live Translate.
See, that helped me understand what I thought about the Pixel 8 Pro, so I could, make context for the Pixel 9 Pro XL. This is proper life-changing use cases that I felt with Gemini. And you also have the new Gemini Live, which means that you can now have a natural language contextual conversation with Gemini about whatever you want to in this world. Let me quickly show you something. I'm having a tough time trying to figure out what to eat for dinner. I want to eat something protein heavy, something, non-vegetarian. What would you suggest?
I see. It sounds like you're craving something hearty and non-vegetarian. You could try making chicken stir-fry with lots of colorful veggies. It's packed with protein, and you can adjust the amount of spice to your liking.
I don't want to eat anything, Chinese. I want to try something Indian. Could you suggest something Indian?
Okay, how about a classic like butter chicken with some garlic naan? Or maybe you'd prefer something lighter, like a lentil soup with a side of warm, fluffy rice?
See what I did there? This is the kind of use case that I find really enriching how I sort of use AI daily. So yeah, clearly the Pixel experience with Android has been the best software experience for me all year long. Finally, let's talk about the cameras on the Pixel 9 Pro XL. I love it. Now, starting with the 50 megapixel Samsung GN1, for the most part, it captures a similar level of detail in daylight like the iPhone 15 Pro Max. But in the finer textures of the scene, the Pixel is better because iPhone tends to oversharpen. The HDR Plus pipeline on the Pixel 9 Pro XL has improved by leaps and bounds. And the proof is in the pudding. Take a look at the pictures. Look at the stark difference in the way the Pixel has managed to control the highlights, bring out all of the elements in that overblown area, and also reduce the shadow noise, which the iPhone cannot do as well. I mean, as well as the Pixel 9 Pro XL is what I mean. Color reproduction is close to neutral on both. The Pixel is slightly punchier and has a slightly more intensive, more attractive contrast. That's the only difference. But on flagship phones like these, the one thing that you don't have to worry about is color size consistency between the different lenses. It's pretty good on both. The Pixel 9 Pro XL also comfortably beats the iPhone 15 Pro Max in low light shots. I don't even need to say it. Take a look at the pictures, take a look at the exposure, and of course, take a look at the details at close crop. Now, if you're shooting friends and family with the primary camera, the skin tones are more accurate on the iPhone compared to the Pixel, which by the way tends to have a slightly red skin tint. This has been a problem with Indian skin tones being captured by the Pixel phones, and I've mentioned this multiple times in my previous reviews as well. I think Google really needs to step up and fix that as soon as possible. Against the light, the skin tones don't get affected much on both the phones, so my analysis remains the same here. Pixel does pull out a little more information from the highlights and the shadows though. By the way, Google has also improved the panorama on these new Pixels, and it is very, very good. You get way better HDR, you get way more details, and in low light, it just beats every other phone out there. Now, while we can still forgive the skin tones, the portrait mode continues to be badly implemented on the 9 Pro XL as well. For some odd reason, Google is adamant on not giving you 1x and 5x portraits. The reasoning that they gave me was that that's not the right focal length for portraits, which actually makes sense. But then you need a proper optical sensor for it. If you believe so strongly that portraits have to be at a certain focal length, then give a proper physical sensor, right? Anyway, with the Pixel 9 Pro XL, you can shoot anywhere between 1.5x to 3x, and on the iPhone, you can shoot at 1x, 2x, and 5x. I think iPhone does it way better. This time, the iPhone 15 Pro Max takes better looking portraits than the Pixel 9 Pro XL. You get better edge detection, you get better bokeh drop-off, and at 5x, it just decimates the Pixel. The Pixel 9 Pro XL also has a new 42MP upgraded selfie camera with a wider attached lens, but the quality on iPhone's camera is nearly identical in terms of details and even skin tones, although the Pixel does look overall cleaner. The same is true for low-light selfies, where Pixel gets the white balance right. Plus, you get slightly more details as well. So yes, the newer upgraded selfie camera is good for the Pixel, but I expected it to be, mind-blowing. That's not happened. The ultra-wide camera on the Pixel, however, is superior compared to the iPhone. It's very evident. You get more details in daylight and in low light. Plus, the night sight on Pixel is better too, as you can clearly see for yourself. The 5X on the iPhone is of higher quality than the Pixel. It captures way more details in daylight. And when you're shooting low-light telephoto pictures with these two phones, of course, Pixel has the brighter exposure, so immediately it might look good. But when you zoom in and take a look at the pictures, that's when you notice that iPhone definitely captures more details compared to Pixel. Now, Google made a huge claim that the Pixel 9 Pro XL has the best video camera on a smartphone thanks to its new feature called Video Boost. Now, if you take that Video Boost into consideration, then they're actually right, because the quality of footage definitely improves. It's sharper and it's better than the iPhone. By the way, the Video Boost processing happens faster. You can, upscale to 8K. All it needs is for you to upload it to the drive and then for it to send it back to you. Most of the videos that I shot got upscaled in about an hour or so. So now this is 4K 60 FPS video recording using both the phones. So now this is 4K 60 FPS video recording using both the phones. Now, when you move to night sight video, Pixel does a fantastic job of cleaning up the footage to reduce the noise and make the footage look so much better. Having said that, iPhone's low light videography still looks pretty impressive, but telephoto and ultra wide video quality is still better on the iPhone. Now, selfie video quality HDR is better on Pixel, but details and skin tones look better on iPhone. So is the low-light selfie video, where Pixel's video is a grainy mess. And note that you do not get any night sight option for, selfie videos or ultra-wide videos. And that's where the iPhone takes the lead, especially in selfie videos. Overall, the Pixel 9 Pro XL has definitely made some huge improvements in processing, especially in HDR plus pipeline. And the newer hardware sensors on these are also helping the case. But there are situations where I would still gravitate towards the iPhone, 15 Pro Max. So between the two, I am not going to call out a winner. It's a tie. So that love-hate relationship that I alluded to? Well, only the performance is a downer. If only the Tensor G4 inside this phone could come close to the performance of a Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 or the A17 Pro, then I would have instantly crowned this the best Android phone to buy right now. In this scenario, it's falling short of greatness. Maybe if the rumors around the Tensor G5 opting for the 3nm fabrication process from TSMC, if it comes true next year, things could change. Fingers crossed. Oh yeah, if you're considering buying the Pixel 9 Pro XL in India at the moment, I would suggest wait for the sales. Of course, the price will go down. Generally happens with most Google phones. And if it goes down to under a lakh, then I can recommend it. All that said, this is easily one of the best Pixel phone experiences I've had in a long time. So what do you guys think of the Pixel 9 Pro XL? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to know your thoughts, by the way. Also, what kind of content would you like to see Trakin English attempt next? Would you want us to do a comparison with any other phone? Or like a detailed one? We'll try that out for you. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, keep tracking and stay safe.